Welcome to part 3 of 3D Experience Integration across enterprise systems. My name is Brian Schouten, Director of Technical Presales for PROSTEP Inc. And this is a third part in a 4-part series about 3D Experience Integration with other systems within your product lifecycle. In the 4 parts of our 3D Experience Integration, first we started with an overall digital enterprise vision and integration strategy in part 1. Part 2, we did a little bit of OpenPDM fundamentals and integration planning. In this part 3, we're going to do a technical deep dive into OpenPDM and then also look at some use cases and integration demos. And then in part 4, talk about some integration success stories and next steps. So today we'll look at 2 different demos, integration between 3D Experience and other PLMs. The first, a 3D Experience to Windchill integration. So it could be that you have 3D Experience and you're using that to house your design data in modern CATIA. And then you want to be able to synchronize that to PLM, which you're using Windchill for, to use as configuration management and source that data for downstream activities. So you're going to need to then synchronize the parts, the BOM, the designs, all from 3DX into Windchill. The second is a Teamcenter to 3D Experience integration. So possibly you've been using Teamcenter for a while with CATIA V5 and TCIC integration, and you want to move that into 3DX in order to move to a modern CATIA. So you need to replicate that data. That could be E-BOM, part data, metadata, and CAD designs from Teamcenter into 3D Experience so that you can support your 3DX moving into the future and other PLM activities. So in our first demo, we'll showcase 3D Experience and Windchill integration. In this case, you're doing design and engineering work in 3D Experience. You're using modern CATIA. And you want a way to then synchronize that data to Windchill that you're using for configuration management and downstream product lifecycle management activities. So you've introduced your OpenPDM process server in the middle and 3D Experience connectors and Windchill connectors that you can use to integrate that data. We've got a process that's then going to start by exporting the product structure from 3DX, exporting the Step 242 Edition 2 files from there, as well as downsaving from modern CATIA to CATIA V5. Then we'll go ahead and the process will import that product structure, create that CATIA V5 through our Workgroup Manager controller, and then create the Step 242 documents as well in Windchill. To do this, we're going to show 3DX, we're going to show the data that you're going to need to synchronize, and then we have a little widget where we can initiate the process. We'll show that process running in OpenPDM, the execution results, and then the other details along with that. And then finally, we're going to go into Windchill. We'll step through the part structure and the designs, and then you can see the step files, as well as load the data through the Workgroup Manager into CATIA so you can see the ultimate results. So just to start, we look at Windchill to show that there's nothing within this, this demo product folder where we're going to load the data that's synchronized. And so we're going to go back to 3D Experience. We've got our wing assembly here within 3DX. It's got about 25, 30 components to it. And we can take a look at the representations there and some properties of that. We also have our widget below that, the Send to Windchill widget. And this is just for an example and demonstration purposes, but you can drop the data in there and then click Go, and it will go ahead and start the process within OpenPDM in order to synchronize the data. So we've done that, and you see that they've started a job. We can go to the OpenPDM process cockpit here, refresh it, and you'll see that the job has been created. It has a message of what's going on within the background. So it starts by doing that export and the EXPDM, downsaving the CATIA V5, exporting the step, doing a mapping, creating the Windchill metadata, creating the Workgroup Manager CATIA data, and then finally doing a report of it. It was sped up a little bit. It does take a little bit of time because of the CAD processing. So, you can see the different steps and the time it took in order to accomplish each of them. And maybe 5 minutes total or something like that in order to accomplish the whole thing. And finally, we go into Windchill where the folder has been populated. And so you can see the gear parts and the designs and then the step data sets that are part of that. We can go ahead and take a look at the product and the CAT product structure here. You can go ahead and expand on the assembly, and then also show all the files that are associated with it and other documents. So you can see there that there's a CAD document as well as a step document that are associated with that one. And then we can expand and show all. You can see that there's also CAD and step that are associated with the rest of them as well. We can go to Workgroup Manager in CATIA V5 and then open that up. And we can then open up our wing assembly within CATIA. And you see that the downsave CATIA then loads up within CATIA V5 so that you can have the representations there. We can also generate a Creo view either from the step data through a special process on the import, or through CATIA V5 that has been committed and with a CAD worker within Windchill itself. Once you take a look at this data, you can also see within the files that there are properties that have been transferred between the 3DEXPERIENCE environment and then also with the Workgroup Manager. And so you can see what those properties are as part of this process, and that everything is aligned and moved over as it should be efficiently. So you can see that there's some additional properties here, and some of them are from CATIA and 3DEXPERIENCE, and some also from the Workgroup Manager with the Windchill properties that are here in the PTC Workgroup Manager properties. Second demo, we're going to demonstrate Teamcenter to 3DX integration with CATIA V5. So you might have been using Teamcenter with CATIA for a while, and then you've adopted or you have a 3DEXPERIENCE that you want to use modern CATIA with. You need to get the data over there so you can have a reference of the history of the legacy. We introduce OpenPDM in the middle with the Teamcenter connectors and 3DX connectors, as well as the process server. We're going to export the product structure, the item revisions, BOM view revisions, all the attributes there. And then also export CATIA V5 through TCIC. And then we're going to import the product structure and then create the CATIA V5 through the Power BI interface to make that data available within 3DX. We're going to first show the Teamcenter data, open CATIA, and load that. We're going to take a look at 3DX and from the widget that we have within 3DX, a query for the data, and start that process. And then show the process within OpenPDM as the process is running and the details, and then finally the results within 3DX. So we'll start our demo within TCIC. This is the Teamcenter integration for CATIA. And from TCIC, you can load the data from Teamcenter into CATIA. You could also view the product structure and attributes and other things as well. So we'll start by searching for this 326 assembly. This is a fuselage assembly for an aircraft that matches up with that wing assembly. So everything within that same position. And we want to take this CATIA data and then be able to load it into 3DX so that we can use this in the future. So you can take a look at the product structure, other configuration options, other attributes that are there. You can also just load the data in CATIA to show the visualization of the assembly as well. And then with this, we're also going to use the same type of technology in order to export it. So With Teamcenter, we've got a few different connectors. We've got our Teamcenter connector that goes direct through the SOA services, but then we also have our TCIC CAD controller that enables export through TCIC. We're going to switch to 3DEXPERIENCE. We have a couple widgets here. So the import from Teamcenter allows you to first take a look and query data from within 3DX into Teamcenter so that you can select and then choose what you want to be able to import. So we're going to search for that star 326 item revision. You can take a look at some of the attributes that are there. And then once we have that selected, we can go ahead and click the button to import it. It'll start a process within OpenPDM. So you see that process ID is the same one that just got started within the OpenPDM process cockpit. So it's going to run through the TCIC export step and the metadata export step from Teamcenter. And then import the products within 3DX, import the CAD data through powered by, and then generate reports and finalize things. And it can do things like email as well, if necessary. It takes a little bit of time handling the CAD as well. You see this is about 3.5 minutes for the assembly. We can go ahead and take a look at the process itself. There's a lot of detailed logs that are available, and you can take a look at before and after data structures like the difference and import results and things like that. It comes in graphical formats and table formats. And here we can take a look because it's a demo and we're generating IDs, so we could rerun the demo. We can take a look for the 326 assembly and the ID that we generated for that, so that we can search for that within 3DX. So we go back to 3DX and then search for this ID, and then it should come up. You see that we have our new 326 result here. It was just created. We can add that to context in our Product Structure Explorer, and the rendering should come up within the 3D Navigate, the data that has been imported. And so this data is available through Powered By, so it's still CATIA v5 data, but generate a visualization for it, so that you can use it within 3DX modules as well. Now that we've explored some demos of OpenPDM, we can kind of dig into some of the platform architecture. So within the demos, you saw a lot of the components that are overall within this architecture. There are the different connectors to systems like Teamcenter, Windchill, 3DX, and other systems available on the lower left. You have the orchestration layer in the middle. That's that process server that you're deploying the process and then creating instances of that, and those are started with the triggers that are in the upper left. You can do monitoring, and then there are different services like mapping service, or also the translation services, notification services, and other services that are kind of baked into the BPMN workflow engine as well. There are quite a few different connectors available for OpenPDM, and they've been supported for a long time. So you see here with 3DX, going back to Matrix 1 and Innovia v6, with Windchill, with legacy info engine and APIs, and then REST and the method services, and now modern Windchill Plus. Same thing with SAP, supporting back with R3, R4, and now new modern cloud OData interfaces. Same as with Teamcenter, so been supporting Teamcenter, for a long time, almost since the Iman days, with legacy Teamcenter engineering as well. OpenPDM is a set of microservices. These can be deployed on Kubernetes or OpenShift or other solutions, and makes it rapidly deployable, highly available, and then supporting modern architectures and deployment methodologies, as well as cloud-based solutions. And with that, we conclude the third part of our four-part series of 3DX integration. Thanks for joining.